Welcome back to Lojban is Too Easy, a show in which I am teaching you how simple and easy Lojban is. This lesson is a little bit different. What I'm going to do now is it's kind of difficult to perceive how Lojban is different than English, how it feels different, how it's different to be inside of Lojban. One reason, one of the main reasons why it's difficult to perceive is because you don't have a problem in English where you go around hearing things that are confusing because of the sort of textual confusions that are removed by Lojban. Instead, what you hear is things that people intentionally say that you so that you can understand them. We're all pretty polite, and we're all trying to say things that other people can understand. And so most of the experience of being limited by the ways that English is less precise than Lojban, you mostly experience them not as confusions or lacks of communication, but rather as invisible boundaries you've never realized are there around how you can express yourself. So the experience of being inside of Lojban is an experience of being more able to express yourself in a wider variety of ways. Lojban is a language where people have a lot of personal style, and where you can change the way the language expresses without losing a clarity that you very quickly lose in English when you try to say that. I'm going to say something to you that would be plain enough to say in Lojban, and you may not understand this, that the English that I'm going to say. You may or may not understand this, but that's the point. And maybe even if you understand it, maybe you can understand why it's difficult to understand it. Here is some English for you. The word, as in I say a word, is a word, but the word isn't a word because the word in the word is used metaphorically. The word, as in I say a word, is a word, but the word isn't a word because the word in the word is used metaphorically. Now that might be clearer if I've written that out here, and so that might be clearer if you read it. The word, as in I say a word, is a word, but the word isn't a word because the word in the word is used metaphorically. Now, isn't that interesting that in English, to read something can often remove ambiguities that make it unclear when it's spoken, and culturally from talking to other people about what it's like to be an English speaker, that there's an understanding that there's certain knowledge that comes more from books, that people who read books have a different kind of knowledge, and that there's certain knowledge that more easily comes from books than from spoken language. And we just sort of accept that that's a thing, that even though it's the same words, supposedly, having them written down in a book makes it so you can understand entirely different classes of things. That's just sort of how it is in English and how it isn't in Lojban. So far we learned E, which splits off sentences, we, which means I'm happy, lana, sheep, tea, this thing I'm pointing at, shadzu, walk, ohu, I feel relaxed about that, strasu, grass, me, shitka, to eat, lo, a noun, make a verb phrase into a noun phrase, shu, verb coming up, watch out, verb next, klama, go to, oi, ow, that hurts. Tree, shoe, tree, sheep, sheep, chicken, zdani, house. And today we're going to learn zo. Zo means the word. It takes the next word after it. There's a word comes after zo, and the word immediately following zo, that zo and that word become a noun phrase that refers to the word itself. So here we have Zoe. I'm going to teach you this by teaching you this little song I made long ago. I think this is a very Lojbani song. In this song, it says Zoe. And so this becomes a noun phrase referring to the word e. So as you can see that it's not as strictly, technically, always true that if you say e, that means that a sentence breaks, because this is not just a sentence here that only says zo, because this e doesn't break a sentence. This e gets eaten by the zo. We call it that zo is a magic word, and we call it eating the e. But the e gets eaten up by the zo, and this just becomes a noun. And so this is all just one sentence. This is a for of the word we, which means I'm happy about that. They go together, and for like this isn't like this we is about this we. The four we's all go together, and all of them are about this noun here. They all attach to this noun. The noun is zo-e, the word e. And then the we's say, I'm happy about the word e. Izo-e, we, we. Izo-e, we. Izo-e, we. Izo-e, we. And then in this sentence, it's almost the same, except we're talking about the word zo. Zo, meaning the word zo. The first zo in zo. The first zo is saying, I'm going to quote the next word, and that's what I'm talking about. And then the second zo is being quoted. Izo zo, we. I'm happy about the word zo. Izo zo, we. Izo zo, we. Izo zo, we. And then, final verse, zo we. I'm happy about the word we. It lets me say how I'm happy, and I'm happy about expressing how I'm happy. Izo we. Izo we. Izo we. Izo we. I quite like how this song show your happiness about every word in the song. Even though it's only a 3-word song, that it allows you to split off all the sentences carefully with E, to quote the words that you're talking about, and express how you're feeling about them with attitudinals. Nothing normal and Englishy happens. All just things in Lojban. There's no verbs in any of these sentences. They just each have a noun, and then the we's go together in a group and apply to the noun and say you're happy that the noun whatever. There's an implied verb of whatever. That the word e does something. I'm happy about it. Izo e we. Izo e we. Izo e we. Izo e we. Izo zo we. Izo zo we. Izo zo we. Izo zo we. Izo we. Izo we. Izo we. Izo we. Okay. Now you know how to quote words, which allows, now we're going metalinguistic. And it's still pretty easy. It's so easy. So easy and simple. Simplest language ever. Thanks, Lojban.